Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I've got something a little bit different for you, where instead of a tutorial or just working with a KUKA robot, today I was lucky enough to have KUKA send me a copy of their brand new KUKA Sim 4. Now if you subscribe to my channel or you come here on a regular basis, you probably know that I usually program in KUKA PRC or just work visual. And I've never actually used any of the KUKA Sim software before. So I thought this was a fun little opportunity to have a look at what KUKA Sim is and whether we can quickly do a quick little KRL for the first time together in it. So KUKA Sim is KUKA's software for offline programming to virtual commissioning. So I guess we can do a whole sort of robotic setup and whatnot in there. They say it's pretty fast and simple, but I think a lot of you know that very few things are fast and simple with KUKA robotics. So having said that, let's jump in and have a look at it, shall we? So just loading up now. Like I said, I have never actually used KUKA Sim, so don't expect this to be a very in-depth look. I'm just going to have a quick play, see what it does. Continue startup sequence, really useful note. Thank you very much, KUKA. Okay. A moment to load, but I wouldn't say this laptop is a few years old now, so probably not the best. What have we got? Just a catalog. We can expand that. Got some grippers, even the ready to 60 mouse, or maybe even the ready to pilot. I guess some things that you can test. Common things for a robot be doing are even the little cubes that they use in KUKA training at KUKA College. Arrows, very industrial looking. A couple of welders. It's a pretty comprehensive list of 3D models, and I do believe you can import them. And here's the real sort of stuff for the robot. So what have we got? Home. Sort of typical sort of Autodesk looking ribbon. Yes. Drawing, help, connectivity. If we can connect to something, I do believe this connects to Office Lite. I'm not sure if you can connect to a physical cell. Maybe it can. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I haven't really looked at any of the documentation. But let's have a look at. I commonly use the KR10 R1100-2 at work. If you want to follow more what I do at work at Creative Robotics, I highly recommend you follow my Instagram. That's where I sort of post up-to-date workings and what we're doing at the office. But okay, so we got a KR10 R1100. It's got the power supply on it and the KRC4 compact. I wonder if we can make that the KRC5. Maybe not. I wonder if they have the KRC5 in there yet. Oh, they do. KRC5 Micro. I wonder if you grab one of their newer robots, whether that defaults to the KRC5. I did notice that the Agulus KR4, the new one, has its own little folder. Let's see what happens if we put that in. Oh. It does get the micro. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, let's sort of see if we can match what we have at work. So we don't have the power supply on it. So we've got accessories. We'll get rid of the energy supply. That's pretty much what I work with for my testing, unless I'm on a Quantec or something similar. Firmware. Oh, signals. We can switch between spline movements or the classic KRL, PTP and LIN. And the default settings, you can even change the color by looks of things. If you're a fancy company like Tesla and you order all your KUKAs in custom colors. Very nice. Category, robots. So that sort of input the robot. What if we want to set it up, I guess, under modeling to model our setup? If we select the robot. Okay. So let's say I want to import some SRC, some KRL source files. We've got our bases. Again, let's update a base. 150. Okay. And if we're going to do some tests, there's the tool data. Okay. So we got 25 minus 25, 220, and minus 45, minus 45. You can tell I have used that tool a lot. A tool data number 3, name, pen holder. So I guess here is where you can make all your edits to the machine. And it looks like all the behaviors are in, so from A1 all the way up to A6. I wonder how this would work with a linear rail or an external axis. But for the sake of this video, like I said, I don't want to go into too much depth. So now that we've got our robot set up, can we program it? Now we got a default main program, KRL file, I guess. Can we get... we can change our versions. Program execution. Here's where we do our submit interpreters if we have a custom submit. So how do we... Yes, program. Say we want to jog. I want you to stay down. I want you... This collapse. There we go. Just wanted the ribbon to stay there. Okay. So can we simply... we can visually just jog it like we probably would with a... Although I wouldn't say it's the most practical way of programming. Just manipulating by selecting each axis. We do 5. Yep. And even twist A6. And here, of course, we've got the manual axis with the limits programmed, I imagine. And I guess to record a position, over here, so PTP. Put that in between. Let's do another one. Can we move the... we can move linear. That's with the object. What if it's world? Switch to X, Y, Z, so positive X, negative Z. Let's see if we add in another PTP. See what happens if we play that. Generate the machine data. Okay. Much like using work visual when you send something over to the robot. It's very nice. Can we see the KRL? It says KRL as it's programmed in the folds automatically. I mean, it's similar to inline programming on the robot, I guess, whereas this sort of data would be put in a .dat file, whereas here it's just making it all inline in an SRC, I imagine. I got the declarations. Oh no, that is the DAT. So extended program view, program main, but it doesn't show us the .dat. I wonder if this exports just a KRL source file or whether this exports a KRL and a .dat. Because the way KUKA tend to prefer it is they tend to put their variables in the .dat. Here, so each one is a variable that you can call up later. Cool. That is super nice. But what if we have some KRL that we've produced somewhere else, like KUKA PRC, for example, that we want to test? Oh, I've got some visualization. Oh, nice, some visual programming for how it's interfaced with other things. Digital I/O mapping. I imagine in the home we've got some, just hide that, we've got some grippers, some shrunk grippers among others that I guess we could snap onto the robot. Oh yeah, it does snap, automatically snaps, really nice. Auto connect the IOs. So I guess you can simulate all your digital IOs. Be pretty pointless if you're setting up something like pick and place in industry and you couldn't do that, I suppose. Well, we don't want that right now. Let's go back to programming. Let's see if we can import. Right click on the file, import KRL. I've got spline. I did in KUKA PRC, nothing special. Double click. So just a spline movement, PTP, lin, PTP, and I can already see something a bit troublesome with this code. See what happens when we play. That is still playing the main. Have to select. Okay, let's see if, that's it. Just a simple spline movement. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Yep. So KUKA 8.6, error -42, no target set. I wonder if that's -42 or they just put that in there to confuse me and it's just error 42. But since classic PTP and the new spline PTP, they don't really like to mix. And I can't edit because the simulation's playing, I would assume. So let's change that to an SPTP. Don't want that. And we'll get an error because we still have CDIS on the end. CPTP. Get rid of that. I really think that this is not needed. Now, you can mix SPTP with PTP and lin and everything else, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily good practice too, because you're jumping between how the robot is interpreting. So SPTP, and since this is the last one, there's nothing for it to blend into. We're not looping. So let's try that again. The program has changed, so I guess it reloads everything. I guess it's simulating the RAM of the control PC as well. So we can see where the advance runs up to and the actual line that we're going through, just like we would on the SmartPad, which is a really nice little addition. That's really neat, I think. I guess drawing is... Is that showing me anything? This has to be for... this is obviously a tool more for integrators, and as I'm doing more KRL and getting more involved with working with the robots in industry, I guess this would be for outputting. If you're setting up a new factory or something, you can output your CAD files. Got some help. KUKA's YouTube. I wonder if they'll put a link to my channel in there. And connectivity. Now I know that this is... So program, doesn't like, you lose the simulation if you go into the wrong menu. Programs, extended program view. So this menu is obviously dynamic depending on what you're doing, not just the ribbon, but you get other things. I have recently been working with a Quantec R2400, 240, 2900, I think, Ultra C in a project in Dubai. And I have some code. We'll get rid of this. I have some code that I set to try and test that as well. So that'll be a heavy, is it high? Yep. What's heavy? Iron, Fortec and Titan. So Quantec, and the code is all for the Ultra 240. Let's see where it is. 240C. Just double click and put it on. This should be inverted, of course. I'm pretty sure the C stands for ceiling. So it doesn't take it. It just, oh, look at that. Even the control PC is on the ceiling. I guess we can fix that pretty easy. We can just get rid of the rotation. Say 90 around. And let's say our ceiling is 3 meters. Okay, so KRC4. Oh, look at that. So if we go into modeling, can we select the door? Oh my God, we can. Oh my God, they haven't even changed the German word Tor for door. Can we change it? Caps lock. Oh, we can. Okay. And did I just see what I thought I saw? Okay, how can I select the entire unit? I guess you can't be in modeling. So, much like we do on the KR10. Oh, let's go back to home. Let's get rid of our power supply. We don't need it for this. And is that really what I think it is? Can I open it? I can open the door. Oh, that's kind of cute. The fact that they go through the trouble of opening the door, and I imagine that's to make sure if you're in a compact industrial environment, hey, can we access the control PC? But for me, I just think that's adorable. And they didn't bother putting in a PC. Oh, well, that's nice. It's a nice detail, I think. Let's turn it off for now. So we've got our Ultra C in our simulation. Let's go back into program like we were before. Select the robot that we want to simulate. Can just, let's import KRL. We've got the Dubai file. Let's select it. And see what happens if we run this one. Yeah, it looks like it's doing the BCO run. Yep. Nothing too fancy in this one. Just some movements. Speed it up. Yes. Oh, it's very fast. What have we got? Simulation was paused due to an interpreter stop. Statement, time block start not supported yet. So, it looks like it doesn't support all of KRL yet. I like the fact that they've programmed it to say yet, as though it will come in the future, which is good to know. But because the interpreter inbuilt in Sim4, which my colleague Johannes did say that this is relatively new, that you always had to pair Sim with something else, like I said at the start of the video. I have never used the Sim software supplied by KUKA before in my life. This is my first time. So there should be a way to connect this to Office Lite. So let's see if we can figure that out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up VMware and get my copy of Office Lite, and then see if we can use that interpreter. So it looks like it's still loaded to a project, which is good. For the sort of more fresh to the world of KUKA, Office Lite is their control PC simulation software. So this is not really simulating a robot, it's simulating all the maths and what the control PC is sending to the robot. So we've got a program in there. It does have a time block in there. It's not much, but can we connect this to use Office Lite to run the simulation to see what we're programming, because that would be ideal, especially in a professional sense. So here I guess we need to tell it somewhere that you're going to be accepting, so where we execute our KRL, we have online connection, view or synchronization. For the sake of this, I'm not sure if my microphone is picking it up, but these are pretty CPU intensive programs and the fans are definitely going at full speed. So online execution is ticked, and what do we need to do? Address. So we have that program. We get the new dynamic menu online connection, so we need to connect it to our Office Lite. Synchronizing robot position. So very similar to how we do it in Work Visual or other KUKA software. We get our little browser, we hit the refresh to look for any connected controllers. I'm going to test this when I'm with one of our robots at work and see if it works, but that is my Office Lite copy. Connect. View only. Oh. And that is the controller. So if we have a quick look over on here, now we can cancel our program. If we jump in program, we can see that these match these. So clearly they're connected and communicating. Let's see if we can't. How can we do this? Let's get rid of everything and move this over to the side. And if we play, let's just pick one that has the time block. And if we play, this is obviously not set up for an infinite A6. But if we play, and that is fantastic. Look at that. So you can simulate your control PC in the Office Lite, and you can watch your program run in KUKA Sim 4 with literally nothing. I didn't have to do anything in my KSS on my Office Lite. It was as straightforward as just locating the connection and saying, I want to connect. Now I wonder if when I change a program in this, can I edit the KRL in this and it updates my files on my Office Lite KSS? I reckon it's maybe like that because the synchronization in the menu I had up earlier. Connectivity, no, that's not the one. But I reckon you can program here, or alternatively you can program here and you can sync them together. Because that's what this synchronization must be for. Yep, A6 is well and truly in the red. There must be a way to turn that into infinite in the simulation as well. There's no way that's not possible. But, like I said, this was never meant to be a tutorial. This was just me having my first little play and experience with KUKA Sim 4, the brand new software from KUKA. Now, I believe if you come to their website, log into mykuka.com here, I'm pretty sure that they have a trial for KUKA Sim 4 that you can download and try for yourself. And if you guys are interested, and I don't know, this video gets a bit of attention, maybe I'll do a couple of tutorials on KUKA Sim and KUKA connectivity. Look guys, I hope you really enjoyed this. I really love sharing my passion for robotics and especially the KUKA sort of ecosystem of things, and look forward to sharing it more.